hosts, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of this station, its staff, management, or sponsors.
It's lunchtime and the Brooklyn Cafe is open for business. Live from the Brooklyn Cafe studios, Dawn and Freddie S. and their team are ready to serve up a huge portion of fun for lunch with friends and neighbors. So let's break open that lunch pail and unwrap that sandwich you brought and take a front row seat at the Brooklyn Cafe and get ready to enjoy some humor and hot topics. It's time to get a healthy serving of hope and happiness to help your day go by with a smile. Your hosts, Dawn and Freddie S. are ready to talk about food, health, dating, or just plain dream making. If you have a story to share, or a movie review, restaurant critique, or just a coincidental thing that happened to you, call in free 888-994-4995 right now. Sit back and enjoy your lunch break at the Brooklyn Cafe. Here are your hosts, Dawn and Freddie S.
And good morning, South Florida, and it's a little chilly. I am very excited. This is the first time after, 12 years of trying to do morning drive, and we're getting an opportunity to do that today. Just want to say good morning to all our friends and WNN. I want to thank you personally for giving me this opportunity, and here we go.
You ready to rock and roll? Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Brooklyn Cafe, Breakfast at the Cafe. A long time dream we've talked about.
Yes.
Wow, for a very long time, and we always had an issue because I'm not such the morning person, but here I am. We're up and we're ready to rock and roll.
And we still ain't got it right because it ain't the midday show. It's actually the morning drive show. So we're going to be changing a few things, which time was a little short. We're going to fix some of our idiosyncrasies.
Good morning. Happy Friday to you. Happy Friday, Teddy and Slick and to Wayne, to you. We've got Dignity Memorial, Southeast Florida on our set today.
We do
But
that.
a lot going on. It's the end of February. Tomorrow is a big day.
Yes, tomorrow is the leap year.
And what does that mean?
That means that if you are asking to, maybe we should even have Wayne explain it because he does it so refined. If you're a female and you want to get married, you are allowed to ask somebody to marry you.
You know, I got an issue with that right already from the beginning.
Why? You're already married.
Because you should be able to ask someone to marry them anytime.
No,
if you're a female.
This is,
I've got this whole issue now. You're telling me only tomorrow.
This is tradition. Wayne, isn't this tradition?
So it's like
Yeah,
Hawkins?
it's old school now. John's right. We can ask. Ladies can ask anytime, anywhere. Those rules are gone. But historically, when there was more strict etiquette, that was the rule. Because you don't even have leap year every year, so it's not even one day a year that ladies were allowed to ask for marriage.
Now, I got a question about that. If that's true, do you celebrate your wedding anniversary every 4 years?
Well, it's funny because there are some local restaurants that if it's your birthday tomorrow, you can go and you get 4 times the amount of desserts because it only happens every 4 years. You can just bulk up like a squirrel for winter on every 4 years of desserts.
So you're going to weigh
and you're good to
400
go.
pounds because you got married on leap year.
Not married, it's your birthday. They didn't even talk
your
about
birthday.
getting married.
Wow.
Can you imagine anyone doing that?
Can you
Could
get
be a
divorced?
blessing.
Can you get divorced on leap year?
It could be a good or a bad thing, right?
That way you can get divorced once every 4 years.
We'll get your wedding divorce
Yeah.
cake all rolled up in one.
Listen, good stuff. But that's an interesting point that was brought up today. I got to hear that on the news. A lot of good stuff going on nowadays.
It's a little chilly right here in South Florida today.
Yes, I woke up to a snowball on my nose. I don't understand. Sunday is supposed to get cold again. So it's a little bit strange. The stock market is not doing very well. I think the market has caught the virus.
I think everything's caught the virus, but it's beautiful here. It's the end of February. We're rolling into March. I can't even believe we're talking March. We're getting up and we're rolling 3 FMs and 1 AM on WWNN. So thank you again to Beasley, to Madam President, to Jody for this amazing opportunity. You can give us a call for any questions or comments, 888-565-1470. And we are airing live on 95.3, 96.9, 103.9 FM, and 1470 AM.
That's right. The nice thing about having morning drive is that people usually, they're very witty. You ever notice that morning drive is very witty, Pitty?
That would be you.
And I'm a nitwit, not very witty. But we get to give away stuff. And we're giving away tickets.
What are we giving away tickets to today?
March 12th at the Meisner Park Amphitheater. The Rolling Stones tribute band is going to be there. And we have a bunch of tickets. We got a lot of tickets. So if you want tickets to Meisner Park on March 12th, the roof is up, rain or shine, they're going to be on there. There's a business to business that starts from 4 to 7, and the concert goes 7 to 9. And the cafe is going to be there doing emceeing stuff on the
We're
side.
going to be doing cafe after hours. We're going from cafe breakfast, midday, lunchtime, and then after hours. You know, if we just kind of slept here, we'd be ready to rock and roll.
This is a 24-hour cafe. You know, yes, and you can order a deli sandwich. Dawn will personally make it for you.
Vegan,
Good luck with
vegan or
that.
not, there you go.
Vegan or not, she'll personally make it for you. But if you call in, what's the number?
888-565-1470 to win 2 tickets. Back old school, Freddie. 2 tickets to the B2B networking event and the Rolling Stones tribute band. And we're really excited because we are now working in conjunction with Nostalgic America magazine with Marcia and Bruce Burns and the Brooklyn Cafe TV. We have aligned all of our resources and all our sources to go full-on media package. They do the print, they do the nostalgic, we get to do the production and the radio side, the streaming, the social media. So all in one, we've got a complete comprehensive package between our 2 companies coming to you on March 12th, March 20th, which is which?
March 12th is the Rolling Stones.
Yeah, who is March 20th?
She always gets me on March 20th because
And
I
you're
call
gonna
it the
say-
Who.
and
It's
it's
not the
not
Who, it's
Who.
Queen.
Queen will be on March 20th.
It's Queen.
And March 28th
ABBA.
is ABBA.
ABBA.
ABBA, all
ABBA,
tribute
ABBA.
bands at Meisner Park Amphitheater. You can buy tickets or you can actually give us a call to win the 2 for March 12th.
And if you call in for the March 12th, because it is Nostalgic America, and you remember where you heard the first Rolling Stone song, and you call in and tell us the story, we'll give you 4 tickets.
Ah, there you go. I thought you were going to give them a free bag of Brooklyn Cafe coffee.
And a free bag of Brooklyn Cafe coffee.
There you have
Because
it.
we have our own coffee. Oh, that's right. This is a new demographic.
Sponsored by Don Pablo Coffee Growers and
You have
Roasters.
any shout-outs you want to do this morning?
To Don Pablo Coffee Growers and Roasters. For
No, anybody else? Maybe your daughter, your son, your husband, anybody else? Nobody?
We're all good to go.
Linda, hello. I had to do a shout-out to her. Linda, good morning at Covenant Village. I hope all you guys are doing well. But anyway, a lot of friends watching, a lot of people wishing us good luck. We love it. I want to thank Jody at the Beasley Network. Only network of South Talk Radio that is presently doing radio and television in their production. So if you want to be on TV and radio at the same time or one or the other, come on down to Beasley at 1650 South Dixie Highway, talk to Jody, and get your groove on. How you like that?
Maybe another word instead of groove, but it's Freddie in the morning. You know, remember that there was another radio, and it was someone else in the morning.
There was another radio?
Another radio personality, and it was in the morning. So
Yeah.
now we're going to call you Freddie in the morning. Freddie in the morning. But I understand that you've got a new studio that's actually up and running at Beasley Media, WWNN, another production type studio
Yes.
for the video streaming component.
Yes.
So not only can we do shows from here, from our Brooklyn Cafe Amp to New Dawn Theater Studios, you're actually changing your studio look over there at WWNN for your evening shows.
Yes, we are. We are actually, we're going to be offering all day long. If you want to go in and talk to Jody, the powers that be, you can actually have a 10-person studio audience at the Beasley Studios. You can go in there and you can be on radio. You could be on TV. It's going to be taped live. We're going to change the whole appearance. There's also a studio where you can come in and take pictures. We're dressing that studio up as well. A lot of good stuff over there. There's going to be the kitchen is going to be remade. So there'll be food and anything else you want to bring in. You want to bring in a chef? As long as you feed me, you're good to go.
There you have it.
Yeah,
A
yeah.
lot of new things going
Lot
on.
of
So
stuff.
give us a call with any questions, 888-565-1470. And as always, say hi to Richard.
That's right. Say hi to Richard, and then Richard take your information, and we'll put you in here, and we'll go from there. Now, I'm also excited because we picked Dignity to be our first victim on the show, because the other day, on Tuesday, a little warm? Huh. We picked Dignity because the other day, on Tuesday, I did Celebration of Life on the air, and what's going on around us is kind of ties in a little bit in the business market and things that are going on around us, and we're going to get into a little bit of that heavy on as well. But Dignity was kind enough to do my Celebration of Life, and no, Freddie is alive, and it's not my birthday. They brought me flowers and candy. They thought either I died or
Well, here's the concept.
my birthday.
Let's give the concept behind
What
it
is
for
the
our
concept,
new
though?
audience.
What
We've
is the
got
concept?
Wayne Henry with us from Dignity Memorial of Southeast Florida, and you can contact Wayne at 561-654-9000 for all of the information that you're going to see here and watch us on the next 45 minutes on our show. But what the premise was, it's about pre-planning at the end of life, because the one thing you are always guaranteed, and we don't talk politics, right? Some people pay taxes, some people don't, but yes, we all should, is that if you talk about the mortality rate in South Florida, is what, Wayne?
It is 100%.
It is 100%
here and always.
Here and always.
Here and everywhere.
Here and everywhere, the mortality rate is 100%. So why stress your loved ones out when that time comes? If you pre-plan now, you lock in your prices now, you put everything in place where you want it. What you want, how you want your life celebrated. You pay it off. You've got 10 years to pay it off. And then when the time comes, your family only has to celebrate you and your memories and not have to worry about making those pre-planning needs. So what we did was a huge mock celebration of life. But here's the
Was it a
beautiful
mock?
thing about
Yes.
social media. Not everyone reads the fine print.
Nobody read
was
it.
a mock.
Nobody.
So they saw this beautiful graphic design for Freddie's celebration of life, Latino style. And people were texting me, should I wear black? Can I play music? Should I bring wine? I said, why would you bring wine? They said, it's his birthday. Not his birthday.
It wasn't
He's
my
here.
birthday. It was my son's birthday.
And that was the other complicated thing, because you
but
had
I
to have the same
complicated
name.
this. Yes, I
So
complicated
if it were
on purpose.
Freddie's birthday, they think it's you. They don't know it's Freddie Jr.
Yeah, but Dignity came out and they put a table where my whole life, my legacy, everything that I ever enjoyed in sports and everything else, they laid it out on this table. And I'm going to tell you, it was very touching. It sort of spooked me for a second. I went, wow. Because think about it, Celebration of Life, and you guys, Dignity did do Kobe Bryant's in California.
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
And you've done presidents. You did Barbara Bush. You've done presidents from here to Theodore Roosevelt, I think, all the way back.
Eisenhower. Yeah.
Eisenhower, one of those guys. But you guys have been in the market. You guys do it right. And when I came in and I saw this, because I know we went through the whole process and everything else, and I was spooked for a second.
You went in hiding.
I did, because think about this. You don't get to celebrate your life because you're not here. You're leaving this for others as a memory, and you know, the kind of person I am. I like to party and everything else. So I talked to Dignity about doing a pre-celebration peekaboo. Maybe do something in the future.
But you know what was so nice about it is this was the first one you've ever done like this. And it's about educating and sharing the information. We're going to go over all the slides and all the information. But people actually wanted to come out and say, you know what? Why can't I celebrate my life while I'm living my life? And then do a second one when you have to many, many years down the road when we all pass. And then your family gets to, it's like a trial run. Then your family gets to do it and see what you liked, what you didn't. But the most amazing, important thing is it's how you want it to be. It's your life, how you want to be
You
remembered.
get to pick it.
And the pricing of it. And
That's
that's
right.
what's so amazing. And
The marketing of it, yeah.
Yeah, so
investing in yourself.
the celebration of life, that's something that Dignity, we do better than anybody else. And like we did with Freddie, we sit down with the family, we understand what their passions are, and then we make that the special day that's unique to that person. I was in one of our locations yesterday, and they were setting up for another ceremony, and the woman loved fishing and knitting. So they had fish stuff. They had the giveaways were like fishing lures. They had yarn everywhere, and they had personalized memorabilia for this woman all over the place. So that was unique that you're only going to see for that one person. So we do that well. And thank you for letting us showcase what we do here the other night. And it really got people thinking about, what they might want for their arrangements later on. But the main message of what we're trying to spread to people is please consider putting your pre-arrangements in place. I was surprised to hear when I started this work with Dignity, only 2% of the population have made their pre-arrangements. Mm-hmm. I found that pretty shocking. And the reason is most people don't know it's even possible.
Or they don't want to talk about it.
Well, nobody wants to talk about dying, but they generally don't know that it's even possible. They think, okay, maybe when someone's in the hospital about ready to die, maybe I should contact a funeral home and make those arrangements so I'm not dealing with it on the day that they actually pass away.
Yeah.
But people aren't aware that they can make their pre-arrangements decades in advance. And the huge financial benefits, there's clearly emotional benefits for the family, that they're not going in, and Freddie, you've experienced
Yes.
this several times,
Yes.
where you've lost someone and you have to make those arrangements on top of your raw grief. That's the worst case scenario, but you're also paying the highest possible price. So what we're saying to people is, please consider putting those arrangements ahead of time to spare your family for the emotional burden, but also the financial burdens and the financial savings. And I'll go through some specifics later on this morning. Are phenomenal. I'm shocked. The earlier they do it, the better, because you're negating inflation. You're eliminating all future cost increases, and those are huge.
Let's talk about Dignity Memorial, because if you drive around South Florida, if you're listening to us on WWNN or your iHeartRadio app, which is AM 1470 on WWNN, very few, if any, say Dignity Memorial locations. So how would people know
That
what
it
is your who is your parent
That's a good
company?
point. I mean, if you're looking on the buildings, you can find Dignity, but we don't lead by that brand. Now, Dignity Memorial is, North America's largest and most trusted brand when you actually look, of funeral, cremation, and cemetery services. And we already mentioned that we've done presidents. We've done every president and first lady since Eisenhower. Recently, President Bush. I was actually in Houston when we did that. McCain, Senator McCain. I remember watching his service on TV, and on the back of the hearse was a dignity symbol. I was but you're right. We don't lead by dignity. It's not like McDonald's or Starbucks where we lead by that brand. We lead by the names of the local funeral homes. So in West Palm Beach, all the Quattlebaum funeral homes up there. We've got the Babillon funeral homes in Boca. We've got the Career Beckers in Fort Lauderdale area. Those are some of the groups that we work with. But we have over 2,500 locations in North America, including Canada and Puerto Rico. And in Florida, we have over 100. And just between West Palm Beach and North Miami, we have well over 30. So we're all over.
They are all over. Let's take a quick commercial break. For more information, you can contact Wayne Henry at Dignity Memorial, Southeast Florida, 561-654-9000. Our phone lines are open. Give us a call for any questions. 888-565-1470. We're going to do a quick commercial break, and we will be right back.
At Carmen Care Advanced Laser Therapy, our professional team specializes in finding the best alternative laser therapy treatments for your painful conditions. Do you suffer with chronic pain, a post-traumatic injury, or simply looking for the benefits of cell rejuvenation to the skin? Schedule a consultation today to understand how photobiomodulation can help reduce your symptoms, reduce or even eliminate pain. Give us a call today, 561-405-9577. We focus on treating you who has a disease, not a disease that defines who you are. Contact Carmen Care Laser Therapy today, 561-405-9577 or carmencarelaser.com.
Kids for Kids Ministry. The vision is to see children in Haiti emerge from extreme poverty into an extraordinary destiny in Christ. The problem is the orphans in Haiti lack clean water to drink and food sustainability. These children need art-integrated education, medical needs, shoes, clothes, a lunch program, and teacher salary aid. The mission is to sponsor local leaders in Haiti to support them in the care of orphans and vulnerable children. In January of 2020, Kids for Kids traveled to Haiti to visit the orphans at their home and at their school. The school has now grown to 30 children attending daily classes, but there are many things to improve upon. To help us or to donate, contact Patty Paget at Kids for Kids Ministry, 561-876-1710. That's Kids for Kids Ministry at 561-876-1710.
If a tree falls in the woods and no one is around to hear it, does it make a sound? Have you ever felt that your voice goes unheard? And you think that you can make a difference if only someone would listen. It's time for women in business to have a place to step into your power, a platform to embrace your hopes, dreams, and your vision, a voice to heal and restore. Your voice can make a difference. We have a platform you deserve to share your story and let your voice be heard. Be kind to yourself. Give yourself the chance to be heard and shine bright. Contact New Dawn Media by texting CAFE to 55312. That's CAFE to 55312. Or call us at 866-224-5422. Your voice can make a difference.
Stand by.
You've been watching the Brooklyn Cafe Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S. And we're back.
And we are back at the Brooklyn Cafe, Breakfast at the Cafe. This segment brought to you by Moby Pop. For more information on our Moby Pop, go to your text message function, not while you're driving, please. The number is 55312, and the message is CAFE, C-A-F-E, and hit send. And all of the information, including all of our shows, all of our streaming platforms, all of the information about how to join us on our set, become a sponsor, get your show produced, or even just come in and say hi with the Brooklyn Cafe Coffee. So check that out on Moby Pop.
Do you know you can ask Siri to do it while you're driving?
Do you know you can click on the link on our streaming platform right now and you can get our Moby
Right
Pop
into Moby Pop.
information?
All of our sponsors, even Dignity, you hit the link on if you're watching on the platform, it takes you right to their site.
55312, and the message is Cafe. You can also go to our lower third on the show if you're watching us on social media right now. Open up your phone app. Do not click it. Just open it up and a link will pop up, and that'll take you right through to our QR code, and you can see it right there on our lower third. Nice job, producers. What a crew we've got going on this Friday morning.
And they're wide awake, which is amazing.
We are here live with Dignity Memorial, Southeast Florida, and Wayne Henry. For all the information that we're talking about today, you can give Wayne a call at 561-654-9000. We're talking about all the locations that are around the world, and especially in South Florida, over 25.
Over 30, yeah.
In South Florida.
Yeah, from West Palm down to Fort Lauderdale.
And what are you finding now? Tuesday night was a change of demographic for what Dignity, I think, is used to. You do a lot of veterans.
We do a lot of
seminars.
support for veterans. There's a lot of misunderstandings about what the veterans' funeral benefits they're entitled to. So we put on specific seminars all over the country, and we have equipment or materials we developed with the VFW and other veterans organizations. So we're proud of providing that. We also do a free burial program for homeless veterans. So we do a lot to support them. And we do other types of events to promote the benefits of making pre-arrangements. A lot of those are seminars, lunch seminars, different groups and things like that, targeting people probably in their 60s and 70s. So Tuesday night we're getting a younger crowd, and that's something that we're moving towards, is because the real benefits when someone pre-arranges earlier are huge. And because of our network and what we can provide, they're future-proof. So they're transferable. We've got the travel protection. So what we put in place, even if people are moving later on, even if they purchase a cemetery plot within our network, if they move locations, move to another state, even to Canada or Puerto Rico, they can transfer like for like ownership of that cemetery plot, and their prearranged funeral can go with them wherever they go on our network.
Even if they bought something in New York 10, 20 years ago and it's a Dignity piece and they want to move down to Florida, they can do that too?
So through states. So New York and New Jersey are a little bit different in that the laws in those two states don't allow ownership of funeral homes and cemeteries in that same state. Okay. So Dignity, we're not able to own any cemeteries in those states.
Okay.
But for example, if someone purchased cemetery plots, and I had a gentleman just a couple weeks ago, He had cemetery plots he purchased in Ohio in the 80s. And now they've relocated down to Florida, down here. And that was in our cemetery up in Ohio. And we've transferred like for like the ownership
Florida?
down to Florida.
And
Now
that's
if you think about
amazing.
the price difference. What he paid in Ohio in the 80s
Yeah.
for those plots
And everything stays
is
the same?
next to nothing compared to what the value currently is here in Florida.
And
I
it
want
stays
to
the
talk
same.
about
But
some
we
of that.
transferred like for like.
Yeah.
I want to talk about some of the price structures because part of the event that we had on Tuesday, Freddie, you got to go through this entire process
Yes.
with Wayne on what it would look like if for you to actually do this. And you actually did this.
Yes,
You
I
actually
actually
went
put it
through the
together.
process and put it together and made your first payment.
Yes.
So can we go through some of the slides? I know
Definitely,
that Teddy
definitely.
has those on what people are looking at because I want them to understand it's affordable and it can be what you want, how you want it at an affordable price because you're locking in the price now.
Right. And that is something that people don't understand. And I understand why they don't understand. I didn't understand it beforehand. But the best analogy I can put forward is maybe you're aware that in a couple, when one of them passes away, the surviving spouse is entitled to a Social Security payout, a death benefit they call it.
Well, tell us his death benefit.
Yeah, it's a whopping $255. Woohoo! And today's prices, that doesn't help much at all. All right, but I recently learned the history of that. That was set up in 1935 by FDR when he set up Social Security. And in 1935, $250 was the average cost of a funeral. So in that time frame, but he didn't put any provisions in Social Security for inflation. So we know, we look at the data, the costs have been doubling every 7 to 10 years. And if you do the math from 35, whatever, that's just about perfect for what the average cost of funeral is today nationally is just under $10,000.
And we have that, and you have a life expectancy for, you have a woman, age 50.
Yeah, we'll go through that data.
Let's go through this data while I want
But
to make
we
sure we
have
have all of
we
that.
use Social Security mortality rates. So when we work with people and we have that data, so we can tell individuals, right now your age is X, and we know that we're looking at your
And you look at the mortality rates as we go forward. So the purpose of Dignity Memorial and the pre-planning of what it is to help what? To help families.
plan for the future. So let's back up first, okay? Teddy, go back.
Let's go to one.
Go back.
Okay.
So really I want to kind of highlight Dignity Memorial. We talked a bit about this already. We are the largest network of funeral, cremation, and cemetery providers. Last year we helped over 300,000 families make their arrangements and have unique celebration of life ceremonies.
That's
So
right. And I'm
this
going to
is-
tell you something. That's the part of this whole thing I like.
I know.
It's the celebration of life, talking about your legacy, things that you've done, the lives that you've touched.
I mean, I helped a woman yesterday. She came in, we met at Babillon where we did the show a couple weeks ago, and I made her pre-arrangements, and we're going through the options and showing her the space and things, and she wanted, she wanted a viewing, and she wanted a service, and initially she was saying, "Oh, why are there round tables? What is it like? Well, don't you have road seatings?" And obviously her mindset is more traditional. It's like, yeah, we used to do that. Every funeral home would have pews, and that's kind of old school. So we've moved away from that because this is what our families want. They want to celebrate that person, and even if they're having a more traditional service, these round tables help people interact. They help people talk. They're not staring at the back of someone's head. So, I went through the options and things like that. And in the thing, we're like, what is this celebration of life? What is that? And they were setting up that other service with the fish and the yarn and things like that. And she goes, well, what is this about? And it's like, as we were meeting and they were finishing setting up, and we went through the details, you go, that's really cool. She really got into it. And by the end, she got it. So that's what we do differently.
Now, I want to ask you, because when you did my celebration mock, we talked a couple of weeks in advance about things that I had done and things of that nature. So if a family comes in and unfortunately somebody has passed away, and they wanted to do a celebration of life, you don't have the opportunity of highlighting who they are. So the person in charge will tell you, can you turn it around that quickly?
Oh, that's what we do normally. So
Normally, okay.
I mean, it was a luxury for them with, we had weeks' notice.
Yes.
But usually it's a few days, and they turn it around
And they
quick.
capture it.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm going to tell you, they captured the different things that they put in there. They captured it. I mean, I don't know how else to explain it. You sort of have to see it to believe it, because there were things in there. I guess he must have been talking to my son or some other powers that
we
be.
didn't talk to your son.
Well, it's amazing
Well,
because
we sat and met with them, but they had the luxury of weeks of planning to do this event with us, to bring in a new demographic. And when we first started working with Dignity, and it's probably been more than a few months, but time has gotten away from us, everyone said, your sponsor is a funeral home, but it's not. It's a celebration of life. It's pre-planning. And I like to equate it with, when my kids were born, I invested in the Florida prepaid plan. So for 18 years, I paid X amount for tuition. Once tuition was paid, I paid off their dorms, then their activity fees. By the time they went to school, my kids' tuition was covered, their room and board was covered, their activity fees, everything else was just extra. And it was very, very affordable and manageable to do that. That's how I equate, for my generation and our demographic, the programs that you have, including the insurance that I had with Florida Prepaid. If God forbid something were to happen to us and I had not paid off my kids' college, the insurance kicks in and they take care of it. You have a program with Dignity that encompasses all of this.
100%, yeah. So the key financial factor that we're trying to help families do is lock in the price and avoid inflation. That's huge.
Huge.
We know most of us, hopefully, touch wood, we've got decades left to live. And we're not thinking about this for decades. So when most of the people that come in and see us, for two reasons. One, they've got bad news from the doctor, and they said, you better get your things in order. All right. The other is they've been to a ceremony recently. So someone they know, a family member or a friend or something, they've been there, and it's in their head. Sometimes they've been to a service at one of our facilities, and they see the Life Well celebrated, and they're like, wow, that was amazing. I want to do that. But more importantly, they see, wow, my friend's wife was a mess. They didn't pre-plan, they weren't prepared for that, and they were shattered. And they start thinking about, what would my family do if I passed away suddenly? I don't want them to be in a situation where they're having to deal with this. What can I do to make that easier for them? And they come in and they say, yeah, I want to get this in place. Especially, we were talking the other day about single moms.
Single moms, right.
Um,
Or single dads, single parents.
Single parents, definitely.
easy.
Or we get a lot of people who they lose a spouse and they haven't made their pre-arrangements, and it's rough. They go through that, and then when we're following up with them, we're glad we were able to help, but don't you think you want to think about pre-arrangements for yourself, because we can make this easier for your family? And a lot of times I didn't know that was possible.
And those are some of the comments that I had on Tuesday when I was sitting around with some of our friends that were here. They're single moms. They're business owners, they're entrepreneurs, and one said, I can't leave this to my 15-year-old child. This is not fair. My ex wouldn't know what I want. I've lost my parents. Who's going to make these arrangements, and then who's going to be able to pay for it? She says, I have to get this in place. So she was sitting with one friend who told another guest that was here who has a business, and now she says, you know what, I'd like to offer this to all my business employees, and the longer they're with me, the bigger the packages I can offer for them. Is that something that Dignity does?
Yeah, so we also have a funeral benefit program for employers and other organizations that they can join. It's completely free to join. And what that does is that gives guaranteed discounts for a funeral, heaven forbid. So even if they don't pre-plan, at least they can get a discount if someone were to pass away in their immediate family, or a parent even in another state, through that program. We offer that. Normally, if someone passes away and you walk into a funeral home, there's no discounts they're offering, that they can offer. You're paying full price and 100%. So, but more importantly, that program allows people to get a discount on their pre-arrangements, and those can have payment plans, that protection, spread out the payments, and again, it's throughout our network.
What did you find most interesting when you went through the plan?
Well, a lot of things. A lot of emotional. There's the emotional side of this thing, but then there's the financial side of this thing. It's amazing because in America, the blue collar worker is shrinking, and we're either gonna, you even have the have-nots from what I've seen with people, and people think that the only way out is to be cremated and put in a hole somewhere and be done with it.
Because it's less expensive.
Because of expenses, and expenses, the fear of expenses is what's creating the drive. If you were to take 10 minutes and have a conversation with this gentleman, now everybody in the world, please call him so you could blow up his phone.
561-654-9000.
You're going to be able to see that it is affordable to do it correctly, and hopefully the kids are in here, you don't got to use it for 20 or 40 or 60 or 80 years. But by then, it just shrinks the amount of the price. So financially, I was shocked. I said, wow, this is doable. It's the first thing.
Shocked in a good way, yeah?
In a good way. I thought it was I'm going to tell you, Wayne, I thought it was going to be 10 times more than that. But everybody's different. You know, I got to see some of Kobe Bryant's celebration of life in California, to use a bigger example. And I saw some of the greatest ball players that I saw play in my day crying, because it's an emotional thing. But they were celebrating a legacy, a gentleman who actually was a good dad, a great athlete, and just a good all-around person. And that day that they did that for me, I felt like I was a superstar for 15 minutes, that I reached out and touched a lot of friends. There was a ton of people in here. People that I just met in Florida. If this was in New York, there'd be 10,000 people. And it just sat me down, and I withdrew, and I sat down, and I said to myself, you know something, Freddie? You ain't a bad guy. And there's the proof. And that's why I'm telling you, you got to call Dignity, learn about celebration of life, because you owe it not only to your family, you owe it to yourself.
Let's go to commercial break. Give us a call with any questions, 888-565-1470. Say, hey, Richard, I got a question for Wayne with Dignity Southeast Florida. He'll patch you right through. We're going to take a quick break, thank our sponsors. Stay tuned, and we will be right back.
Are you here to be good? Or are you here to be great, outstanding? Hi, my name is Ann Shoshana Dector, and I am an author, motivational speaker, and leadership educator. I share with individuals and businesses the proven tools necessary so that you can make friends with challenges and use them as opportunities to grow from good to better, so you can have it all. Unified, supportive, and creative corporate communities, financial abundance, and a clear mission-driven purpose. Contact me at goodtobetter2020@gmail.com. Grow from good to better in 2020. Work with me individually or ask me to speak at your next event. goodtobetter2020@gmail.com.
Healing Moments Wellness Boutique specializes in integrating scientific and ancient therapies to relieve physical, emotional, and psychological distress. Through the power of touch, coaching, and meditation, clients experience pain relief, relaxation, healing, and detoxification. Contact Healing Moments Wellness Boutique at 561-931-2187 and experience Boca Raton's Healing Haven. Enjoy the benefits of an individualized treatment plan to help find your feelings of peace, complete balance, and wellness. Call Healing Moments today, 561-931-2187, and be rejuvenated.
Let's all welcome a new sponsor to the show. It's AMP2 TV, the first and only internet production company that's truly plugged in. When you're looking for a full-service internet TV radio production company, discover AMP2 TV, a full-service production company that can provide all streaming videos in studio or remotely. They offer web page development, and they use all the latest platforms to help make all your business selling points more powerful. They can do remotes or live radio streaming, as well as tape productions for social media platforms and television. AMP2 TV can handle all of your television needs, including closed caption for a perfect on-air telecast. Choose from a variety of creative TV and radio packages, or visit one of their many studios to get your creative juices flowing. Come and see why AMP2 TV works with many major companies, including Comcast, Bravo, and Fox 29, as well as individuals and businesses of all types and sizes. To see samples of their work or to find out more, visit their website at amp2.tv. That's A-M-P, the number 2.tv. Or call them at 866-224-5422. Feel free to call for a quote or just a consult of how to put your business on a social media platform or radio platform, or just doing a show that is covered by all platforms. Call 866-224-5422 and make an appointment. That's 866-224-5422.
Does your business Moby Pop? A new way to grow your business. Using a simple keyword, drive customers right to you with just a click. Customers will receive your personalized digital business card within seconds, with all your contact information in one place, including a gallery of photos, videos, and clear call to action that drives sales. Promote your products and services, or share a hot new listing with custom event pages and RSVP form, boosting qualified leads. Special offers and promotions are directly sent to your potential customers' phones with text campaigns, increasing foot traffic and creating a loyal following. Let MobiPop drive your marketing campaign. Focus on your business. Let MobiPop focus on growing it.
Stand by.
You've been watching the Brooklyn Cafe Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S. And we're back.
And we are back on Drive Time
heard that
Friday
voice?
morning.
Heard
Which
that voice?
one?
Steve-O.
The voice of Steve-O.
Yes,
Flattery.
And we want to also we want to send our best
Get well soon.
get well soon to his wife, which we found out is not feeling well. Steve-O, we love you. Give us a call and an update when you can.
Get well soon. That is the voice of Steve-O from New York Sounds, one of the most incredible DJs that you will find in South Florida. Easy to find all over social media. You can give us a call. Our phone lines are open, 888-565-1470 for questions and comments while we are live on air. And to reach Wayne after hours or when the show is ending, you can give him a call at 561-654-9000. That's Wayne Henry with Dignity Memorial, Southeast Florida. We still have tickets to give away for our B2B networking event with Nostalgic America and the tribute band, the Rolling Stones, for March 12th. So give us a call at the radio station or write in or text us to our MobiPop, and we'll get you 2 free tickets at 888-565-1470. The amazing thing is we've been talking about this already for 45 minutes, but we want to get into the numbers, the nitty-gritty of the finances of why it's so important and what you're looking at. Now, everyone's needs are different, from whether you want to be in the Neptune Reef or you want to be a diamond. You can tune in at our 12 o'clock hour. We'll talk about how, yes, I'm going to take my hair and be a diamond.
What is the Neptune Reef? What is that?
What is the Neptune Reef?
So this is one of a kind in the world. So Dignity Memorial have built 10 years ago. They built the first phase. It's like the lost city of Atlantis, and it's in Biscayne Bay, just outside Miami. And you can get your cremated remains mixed, and you can choose different shapes to be a pillar or a column. And they even have different shapes like a starfish or
There's a new mermaid out.
New mermaid. So basically, you can choose the shape that you want. You can even commingle. Some people, maybe their spouses passed away and they put their arrangements in place. So when they pass away, you can get commingled, put in a shape, placed in the reef with a copper plaque. It's growing the coral reef back, and it's creating life after life. It's already one of the most popular diving sites in the world. It's cool with the lions and arches and all this stuff.
Beautiful.
They've just finished the first phase this last summer. You can also have your cremated remains scattered over the reef, and then you get a permanent copper plaque on the reef itself. That's only $650. But it's one of a kind where we've had sea scattering for, a long time, but you can have a permanent place, sea burial, permanent place, but you're actually doing something good with your remains, bringing life back to the ocean. So that's what that
remarkable.
is.
There's
And you can
so
also do
many
that thing with the
options.
hair, right? If you want to make some diamonds with your hair.
They can take your ashes or your hair, and
There's
you
a lot of
can-
options. We
a
can
lot
put part of
options.
your cremated remains up in space. We can do a green burial with grow a tree with your
space.
remains.
And you also have your traditional mausoleums and underground burials. So
yeah,
anything that anybody wants, and there's also options if you and your spouse or partner don't agree on what you want, they make it happen and make it work for everybody.
They
But
split you in half.
no, we're not a magic trick. Let's get into the numbers though.
Okay.
Yeah, so the important thing is not everybody wants an elaborate celebration of life or elaborate ceremony. Not everyone's a president. We can do those kind of more elaborate ceremonies or services, more traditional, or we can go very modest and keep costs down. We listen to our families and do what they want.
What are we
Like I
looking
said
to hear?
earlier, the average funeral we know now is just under 10,000 in the U.S. And that's growing. The important thing is that's growing. It doubles in price every 7 to 10 years. I already mentioned about the FDR, death benefit was $255 in 1935. We know the price has been doubling every 7 to 10 years. So let's take that average. We've just rounded it up, $10,000 funeral in 2020. All right. We have a 70-year-old female. She to come in and she's still fit and healthy. Hopefully, actually we know using Social Security mortality rates, if she lives to the average, expected age, she will live to be 86 years old. So she could put in a 10-year payment plan for that $10,000 funeral today. She's only paying $149 a month. Now that $149 a month includes, it's basically a term life insurance to cover the balance. So if something were to happen to her before that 10-year period, and that's all paid off, the balance is covered by that insurance, even if she's only made a couple of payments. If something happens, an accidental death, the balance is covered and their family has nothing to pay. Now, the figure under that is if she didn't pre-plan, and she passed away at 86, that $10,000 funeral today with inflation rates, average inflation rate of 4.5%, that same $10,000 funeral is expected to cost almost $20,000.
And that's a major difference.
That's
right?
a huge difference.
Yeah.
So it's doubling in price. Take for a man, 70-year-old male, same thing, 10-year payments. It's a bit higher. It's $159 a month because insurance for a man is higher. The mortality rate is lower. They're expected to die. And here the rates, the mortality tables show us 70-year-old male today is expected, average life expectancy is 84. So it's, if he died at 84 without prearranging, 17,780. So when you make your prearrangements, even for a 70-year-old, there's a lot of advantages there. You're locking in the price, you're negating inflation. Hopefully, so that 70-year-old has over a decade left. You never know. You never know. With a 20-year-old, you don't know. Kobe Bryant, things happen. We don't know what's going to happen. Yeah. But you're locking in the price. You're avoiding all future inflation. We can offer payments with payment protection for 3, 5, or 10 years. So your families have nothing to pay if the worst were to happen. That same scenario includes travel protection plan. So if you're traveling to visit relatives or on vacation, even on a cruise or traveling internationally, and the worst thing were to happen, that travel protection gets you back home at no additional cost.
It's funny. Somebody was on the show last week, and she just signed up with Dignity, and that was her motivation for doing it, was that because she travels a lot. And she's afraid that if she travels in another country, you can't get back.
Yeah, the cost is crazy, plus the hassle. So even I was working with the family, and he didn't buy the travel protection. I did their plan. It was early November a year ago. And they decided, no, let's keep it cheap, and I don't want to take that off. I was like, okay. And they went up and visited their son for Thanksgiving in New Jersey. He ended up having a heart attack and died.
Oh my gosh.
During the trip. And they spent over $2,500 to get him back to Florida for his burial because they didn't purchase that.
Well, it's not easy to move bodies around. Just
Well,
if
and
you don't know
expensive.
that.
you can't just put them on the flight next to you.
But think about what we spend in insurance a month.
Yeah.
We pay for business insurance, we pay for health insurance, we pay for dental insurance, we pay for life insurance, we pay for
Well, a lot of
everything
things.
a lot of
insurance.
insurance.
A lot of things that could happen to us: hurricanes, fire, a
Right.
car accident. Hopefully, we can live our lives with none of that ever happening to us. This is 100% going to happen. So why?
Wait a
wouldn't we
minute,
plan
take
for
it easy
this?
with the 100%. Okay? It is morning, maybe 90%.
Well, why not
No.
invest in the insurance for something that we say, God willing, 80
You don't have
years
to
from now
use.
for everybody else, right?
That's right.
But you have the insurance and you
Right.
lock in the price. Because if someone, I know you would talk to a family member that was in hospice and they wanted to do one thing for their mom, but they couldn't afford it because they had about a week, 2 days to figure out what they were going to do. And they knew mom would have wanted everything, but they couldn't afford it because mom hadn't made the plan. So they were
Right.
left to doing a lesser.
Yeah, and we see that almost every day, unfortunately. People coming in, someone's passed away, and a lot of times they don't know. They never talk to their loved one about what they would have wanted, and they do the best they can. But we also see exactly that, where I know my mom wouldn't want this, but this is what I can afford. And
It's
they-
funny
you know,
because I had to bury my brother, my mom, and my father. Okay, and my mother died in the hurricane, which was the worst one of the three. Was hers. I mean, they're all bad, but that was the worst. And Dignity was there for me. And the amazing thing about this is that I didn't even know, because there was no power, there was no nothing. I didn't know until we sat down and I met Wayne. I started looking through the center. It was Dignity that was there, and they made my life so much easier, which was scary.
And now you get to pass that gift on to your family, to your children and your grandchildren to say, you know what, I've taken care of it. I don't have to worry about it anymore.
Exactly.
Can we?
What other slide do you want to put up?
Yeah, I
while
want to
we're
go
doing-
back. So we did a 70-year-old. I wanted to show you the savings that we're talking about. So if we do that same scenario with a 50-year-old, that same $10,000 funeral today, it's $120 a month, so it's cheaper. And then, but she's expected to live 83, and that's a lot more time. So
Wow, look at the price.
If she doesn't prearrange with inflation, if she lives to 83, that cost goes up to over $40,000. And for a man, it's he's going to pass away a little bit earlier. It's $35,000.
Okay, wait.
So
I
that
just want to
inflation
lock
piece.
this in.
Yeah.
So, $10,000 right now, average price for a funeral in 2020.
Yeah.
I'm 53.
Yep.
120 a month
Yep.
roundabout.
Yep.
God willing, I live till 83. If I
Yep.
don't do this now or in the near future, it could potentially cost my family almost $41,000
Correct.
at age 83.
Correct.
Same for you, Freddie.
Correct.
That's why I
Budget-
jumped on.
Yeah.
$35,000
Yeah.
versus
Yeah.
the 10.
Yeah.
That's tremendous.
But there's
And even
but
the
there's
next
even a
one.
bigger thing for me was what they wanted to do with me with these numbers.
Well, your family wanted to, do something
and,
else.
listen, I don't want to be cremated. I just don't. If I can help from doing that, I don't want to do that.
So without showing the specifics there, that lock in the price.
Right.
The huge saving is you're eliminating all future cost increases.
Agreed.
And
You're locking it in.
emotional distress
Yeah.
on your family. You're helping to alleviate some of that as well.
Yeah. And for that, the last one, the 30-year-olds, we rarely see a 30-year-old. We should. Look, that same $10,000 funeral today, they're still paying $120 a month. But if they don't, they're expected to live a female to 82.
Oh my
So by the
goodness.
time they're 82, that's several decades in the future. We expect that to be over $90,000. So you can lock that in today, pay that off. You're laughing. Your family saved a huge amount.
It is.
And a 30-year-old male, you're looking at $130 a month, $78,000 by the age of 77. Wow.
Now, those numbers, everything is movable. You got to come in, you have to have a conversation, you have to
Wayne.
sort
Yeah,
of,
so that's just one scenario. Like I said, we
Yeah.
can do it much simply. If you're looking at cremation, that will be less than that, potentially a lot less.
Yeah.
So there are a lot of options, and we specialize in meeting your budget. And even if it's tight, we said, at least get the basics in place. We can get that set, so the bulk of it's covered for your family. And the bulk of that cost, and there's not a shock there.
And with payment plans, contact Wayne for more information, 561-654-9000. Wayne Henry with Dignity Memorial, Southeast Florida.
1 minute.
Wow. Thank you, Jody, again at WWNN 95.3, 96.9, 103.9, and 1470. It has been an honor and a pleasure to have breakfast at the cafe with you. We will see you Monday, same time, same place. Be kind to each
and
other.
remember, don't be late.
Bye-bye.
All right.
Well, that's about it for today. Even though the show is over, the Brooklyn Cafe is always open for business. You're invited to join the fun every day from 12 to 2. If you missed some of the laughs from today, Dawn and Freddie S. will bring more good cheer next time. You can follow the Brooklyn Cafe on Facebook at the Brooklyn Cafe TV to rewatch every minute of the show. Well, see you next time.